Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here. There's so many panels going on in South by Southwest right now, and you're all here, so thank you. I am Morlakea Kennison. I am a former sprinter, Olympic gold medalist, and the current head of athlete relations at Grand Slam Track. And I have the pleasure of being joined here today, first by French athlete and Olympic silver medalist in the 100-meter hurdles, Cyrèna Samba-Mayela.
Hi, everyone.
8-time U.S. champion in whatever event they choose to compete in. And Olympic finalist, Nikki Hiltz. And we have 5-time Olympic medalist, 3 gold medals in Paris, the first to do it since Allison Felix in 2012, Gabby Thomas. Gabby, since Paris, you've been literally everywhere. The US Open, Paris Fashion Week, US Fashion Week, or New York Fashion Week, the cover of Vogue, cover of Sports Illustrated, every podcast you could think of. How has your life changed since Paris, and what has been the best part about it?
Oh my gosh. My life definitely changed overnight since Paris, and there's really no way to prepare for it. I'm going to be completely honest about that. And I will say, when I was lining up on the line of the Paris Olympics, I spoke about this at my last panel, but I remember kind of thinking, if I win, like, what will happen? I remember thinking, like, I'm going to be whisked away to media, and then my life will be completely changed overnight. Like, my time will not be my time, my schedule will not be my schedule, and I'm like, am I ready for that? And then immediately had to, like, get that out of my mind, right? Because I'm lining up for an Olympic race. But I was right. It was like immediately from there, whisked away to media, and then just a plethora of opportunity. And on one hand, like, it has been incredible. All of the things you mentioned have been so much fun. But on the other hand, I've really had to learn how to adjust and learn how to set boundaries and say no, and also manage training and continuing to do what I've been doing to get the medal while also, enjoying this new life. So, in short, it's been an incredible journey. I'm loving all of the opportunities and the attention that the sport is getting. I've gotten to explore new interests like fashion. Fashion Week was such an incredible opportunity for me, and I've learned a lot about myself since Paris. But I'm still on the journey, and I'm still training for World Championships, which is later this year, and obviously Grand Slam, which is happening this season. So it's kind of back to head down and learning how to refocus with everything going on.
I love that. Of all the events that you've done and all of the super dope people that you've met, who is the one person that you've been, like, starstruck for?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I've met so many people that I've been very starstruck for, but 2 come to mind immediately, and first one being Rihanna.
Makes sense.
Like, the rumors are true. She smells amazing. And she's such a fan of the Olympics, which I really loved. Like, she watched our races. And then I'd say Anna Wintour. I mean, when she walks into a room, everything stops. Everyone's like, oh, shh, shh. And I've never felt that kind of presence before. So I was starstruck.
I love that so much. Nikki, you went into the Paris Olympics and you ran 2 of your fastest 3 races ever. And it was your first Olympic Games on a stage, there's no stage like the Olympics, so on the biggest stage that you could ever perform on. How did you feel walking away from the Paris Olympics knowing that you put together arguably your best series of races ever?
Yeah, it was a good time to have a good time, with the 1500 and with your guys' events too, it's, there's rounds, and I just kept wanting to make, I wanted to make it out of round 1 so that I could do the semi, and then I wanted to make the final so I could be in the final, and it was just like, I was just so stoked I got to race 3 times in that stadium, and I feel like each time I took it in a little bit more and more, and it was a really big deal for me to make the final because at the 2023 World Champs, I just missed out, and I was pretty bummed, and it's cool to, like, a year later come back and, like, actually do it, and to do it on the biggest stage. It was awesome, yeah. I had a lot of fun.
You can have, racing be the answer for this, but at the Paris Olympic Games, what moment stood out the most to you?
Oh my gosh. I think the opening and closing ceremonies were really special because I feel like that was like you were just with other athletes, who had also, whether they had just won 3 Olympic golds or they had just qualified. Like it was like I felt like, okay, these people know my experience. Like, they're, I don't know. And I just felt really special. I feel like I got close with a lot of, other teammates on Team USA and even people from other countries. And yeah, it was just really special.
Spill the tea.
Oh, I mean, just like the distance runners, like I feel like we all just really bonded. And then, there's a couple tennis players. I don't know, just vibing on the boat.
We love a good vibe. Well, I'll say that, for those of us on stage, at some point during your childhood, you dream of running at the Olympics and getting a medal put around your neck and hearing your country's anthem playing in the stadium. But Cyrèna, you got to do that in France, at home, in front of a home audience. When you crossed the finish line and you saw that you were now a silver medalist, who was there? Who was the first person that you ran up to and hugged?
I went to my dad. Yeah, I went to my dad. He has been the biggest supporter. And then I went to see my mom. All my family was crying. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Did you ever imagine that the Paris Olympics would be the one where you got your medal, you got your first medal? Did you think that it would be Paris, or did it feel like, a literal dream for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was my first goal, and it was the moment of my life. Since I started athletics, actually, in 2015, I was like, the Paris Olympics are going to be my Olympics. And I prepared everything just for that moment. And when I was there, I was like, okay, that's the moment. The stress was gone. I was just in awe. I was like, finally, my dream are realizing. And when I crossed the line, I was like, finally, it's done. And you can see all my emotions just, it was amazing.
I love that. Speaking of dreams, English is not your first language.
No.
French is.
Yes.
So when you think and dream, do your dreams happen in French or in English?
I don't know. I just can tell you that I think I came to that point where I don't have to think in French and then translate in my mind. So it's getting easier and easier.
Okay, so the English is getting there for you. So some of your dreams are in English and some of your dreams are in French. Okay.
Yes.
Now I have a question for the audience. Raise your hand if at any point during the Paris Olympics you watched any track race. I love that. Also, not surprising, because 250 billion people worldwide claim to either run track, watch track, or like track. Now, raise your hand if you have watched a track race since the Paris Olympics. Okay. Wow. I wasn't expecting as many hands. I truly wasn't. Well, we are at Sportico House, and you guys did come to a track panel, so makes sense. Track does not have a demand problem. Clearly, people love track. 250 billion people say that they love track, but there is a supply problem. In the NFL and the NBA, we know that we watch footballs on Sunday, we watch basketball on TNT on Thursdays, we watch college football on Saturdays, but when do we watch track? When does it exist? Grand Slam track is going to fix the supply problem with track and eliminate the fact that you don't know where to watch track and where to find track and where to see your favorite competitors actually race on the track.
This is combat racing. Best on best. Kenny versus Fred, fastest men alive. Masai versus Jasmine, the crown is hard to keep. Cole, Josh, Yara, are you lucky or good? Gabby, Sydney, Marlady, champions preside. This is where scores are settled, legends made, a festival of speed, 4 times every year. The race is on. Buy your tickets now.
Gabby, aside from Grand Slam track, can you tell me what the landscape of being a professional track athlete is every year that is not an Olympic year?
Okay, well, great question. I will say growing up, I had no idea what track and field looked like or what the landscape was. And obviously, I had my favorites, right? I looked up to Allison Felix. We all know Usain Bolt, Justin Gatlin. Like, we know that they're competing somewhere, but we have no idea where. And if they're not competing in the Olympics, it almost looks like they disappear for 4 years and just kind of go away. And it wasn't until I became a professional athlete where I understood what was going on. And I mean that literally. Like, even in college and even my first year as a pro, I did not know where athletes were competing. And so basically every 4 years you have the Olympics, and every other year you have world championships. If you're not competing at our major championships, you are typically like looking for races. You're trying to get in as many races as you can, and that is typically overseas because track and field traditionally, historically, has not had a presence in the US. So if you're a professional athlete like we are, and you're looking to race, you might be racing in the US for free. You might be showing up to college meets just to get reps in. USA Track and Field generously puts on meets for us from time to time. But otherwise, if you're trying to make money, you're going abroad. But even still, going abroad to race, you are not guaranteed to make money or profit. And Nikki and I were just on a panel on Monday talking about this. But at the current state, if you go to a Diamond League race, which is kind of like our A-level racing, that's where you want to be if you're a professional runner, you can win and make $10,000. So you make $10,000, but you still have to pay for your travel, pay your coach, pay your agent. You might win a race and still come out in debt. And I'm talking about if you win. If you don't win the race, you're definitely coming back in debt. And so it's a really tough landscape. And I mean, athletes are out here grinding every year. And that being said, no one knows we're racing. So not only are you racing and grinding it out, but it's not very prolific. So people can't see what you're doing. And that presents a really big challenge in our sport. Because like Morlake just said, and as you all are very well aware, people like watching track. And I think what I'm most excited about this kind of advance in our sport is we know when we are competing, everyone is pretty much obligated to be there. So you know your athlete's going to show up and race, and you know exactly when and where. And it's such a simple solution that I almost can't believe hasn't existed in our sport before. So, I mean, it's pretty incredible. But, I mean,
it surely is. It's the simplest solution to the simplest problem. Nikki, you were shaking your head as Gabby was talking about the prize money.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's 10xing it, right? Like, I'm not really good at math, but you went to Harvard, so what's 10,000 to win one Diamond League versus 100,000 to win a Grand Slam? Like, that's crazy. And it's just really cool that, this is run by and led by people in this sport who have done it. And I really trust, the leadership of Grand Slam track. And I think we're going to do it right. I think it's going to be awesome and fill this financial need that's happening.
So every competitor in every race group in Grand Slam track has the opportunity to win $100,000 in every slam. There are 4 slams in every year, which means that on this stage right now is possibly $1.2 million in prize money. Cyrèna, how much, if any, you can say you don't care about the money, but who believes that? How much was the money a factor in your decision in joining Grand Slam track?
I think it's going to have a lot of impact on the way I'm going to be racing, for example, because I'm going to allow myself to just have fun, knowing that I won't have to worry about the money. So, this is a big aspect, and I feel respected as well.
That is absolutely one of the intentions and goals, is to treat professional track athletes like professionals and pay them like professionals as well. Speaking of event groups, one of the interesting things about track in comparison to other sports is when you watch a football game or a basketball game or a tennis match or a volleyball game, you see your favorite athlete on the track or the field or the court for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. But with track, you see your favorite competitor on the track for 21 seconds, 4 minutes, 12 seconds, and that's all the time you get with them. In Paris, we got to see Gabby on the track 3 times, winning 3 different events, and that's part of the reason why the world was able to fall in love with you, because they were able to just see you on the track. Every competitor will compete twice over the course of 3 days, in order to bridge the gap of just having more time with your favorite athlete on the track. But Gabby, you are one of our unique athletes where you will get to compete in more than one race group. Both our short sprints that runs the 100 and the 200 and the long sprints in the 200 and the 400. Which event group are you most excited to compete in?
That is a really good question. Traditionally I'm a 100, 200 meter runner, and I have since gone pro, kind of transitioned to running 400s in addition to the 200. So it's kind of the short sprint side versus the long sprint side for me. And I've got to say that the 2-4 lineup at Grand Slam is really exciting. You have, Sid doing it, Mare Lady doing it, and for me, having that type of rivalry and having that type of storytelling around the sport gets me really excited. And like Cyrèna said, I don't have to worry about where my next paycheck is going to come from when you're doing a league like this, so I can actually just go, enjoy the competition, compete, have a great time, and let the best racer win. So probably the long sprints.
I love that. I'm excited to watch you in the long sprints too.
I'm scared.
You're scared, but it's gonna be fun.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Nikki, what race groups do you compete in?
So I'll be in the short distance. So I'll run the 8 and the 15 every Grand Slam.
Do you have one that you prefer?
Definitely 15, yeah.
Makes sense. So I heard that yesterday you invited Gabby to do a 1,500 meter workout with you.
Yep.
What was the workout?
It
what
was
was it, Nikki?
6 by mile at 5:20 pace, which is like my threshold. Short rest, I think it was 90 seconds rest between each. And Gabby did the whole thing.
How did Gabby do?
Gabby did great. Gabby
so basically,
made it.
she should just join the short distance group now
I
too
think so,
and compete
too.
in 3 groups.
Yeah.
You guys heard it here first.
Oh my God, Nikki is so sweet and kind.
Gabby made it 1,000 meters.
I barely. So when Nikki mentioned this workout, I was thinking, okay, I'm interested in trying it. And they were like, oh, you'll do great. You'll get a PR today. And my PB in the mile is 5:43. And I was thinking, okay, if Nikki said I can do this, then I think I can do this. So, they set a really good pace. First lap in, I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good.
Did it feel good the first lap?
Yeah, the first lap felt good,
What was
right?
the pace for the first lap?
It's just 80-second pace the
80
whole
second.
time.
Right,
Yeah.
so an 80-second
Doable.
400 for someone who runs a 49-second 400, you're thinking,
Doable.
all right, great.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the second lap, I was right behind Nikki, and the distance just kept getting wider and wider and wider, and I'm thinking mentally, okay, I got this. Nikki's being so encouraging. And we passed the 800-meter mark, and something in me, all of my faculties have left. My legs were not moving, my mindset had just completely shifted, and I fell off pace. And our agreement was, once you fall off pace, you're just done, you get out. And so I think I made it somewhere between 800 and 1K.
Yeah.
Before
It's pretty. You're actually describing what it's like to race Faith Kipyegon in a 1,500 for me. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm here. Okay, all of a sudden she's gone. But no, I think the really cool thing about track. Okay, you ran 3:20 for a K. Okay, everyone here. Oh, let's make fun of Gabby because she's a sprinter trying to do it to suspense. Try to go to your track and run a K in 3:20. That's 2.5 laps. I don't know if many people could do that. So give it up to Gabby.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, but I also heard that there's payback tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So I've invited Nikki to come do a sprint workout with me tomorrow. So I'm really excited.
And do we know what the workout that Nikki has to do is?
We actually haven't decided yet. It is between.
It's for the best.
Yeah, I'm going blind. It's between reduction 300s, which you sprint 300s. Each one has to be faster than the last, or a classic 150 repeat or 200 repeat workout.
How do you think Nikki's gonna do?
I think they'll do great, honestly. You know what I will say? I was very, very impressed by the speed factor. In order to run a mile at 5:20 and do it over and over again, you actually do have to have a very high level of innate speed in order to maintain that and not just crash out. So lots of respect. I do think Nikki will do better than I had initially thought she would do in a sprint workout. So I mean, I guess we'll see tomorrow. But I was
So I have it
impressed.
twisted, and actually Nikki needs to do the short distance and the long sprint.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you
Yes.
guys heard it here first. You will see Gabby Thomas in the short distance and Nikki Hiltz in the long sprints. Don't quote me. Our very first slam is coming up very, very, very soon, April 4th through 6th in Kingston, Jamaica. We are all very, very, very excited about it. Cyrèna, have you ever been to Kingston before, or Jamaica in general?
Never, and I'm so excited.
Oh, what
I'm
are
so
you
excited.
most excited about?
The music. I know they know how to, have fun, Jamaican. So I want to have fun too. I want to be out there dancing before racing and all. I want everything.
What about the food? Do you like Jamaican food?
And they have something with chicken, but I forgot how it's called.
Jerk chicken?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that.
Notice how she said nothing about the races that happen on the track at this. I am personally very excited about Kingston too, in just general. Gabby actually has some Jamaican heritage in her.
I do.
Have you been to Kingston before?
I have been to Kingston before, and I'm really looking forward to going back. I'll have all of my family there to support me.
Who's coming?
Oh my God, my grandpa, aunts, cousins, like everyone who still lives there. So
Have they ever seen you run in live before in person?
no, actually, this will be the first time. So I'm really, really excited for that for them.
I love that. See, that's why we have to take Grand Slam track to Kingston and track to the world. And I feel like all of you guys love track here, but for those of you that don't know, Kingston, Jamaica is the sprint capital of the world. And so we're really looking forward to taking track to a big track meet to Kingston. Nikki, have you been to Kingston before?
No, never. I'm excited.
What are you most excited about?
The jerk chicken, I guess.
Have you ever tried oxtail?
No.
I'm gonna take you to get some oxtail.
Perfect.
Will you try it?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget me.
And you too? All right. Look,
I want some too.
Yeah.
We're all
going,
okay. At
yeah.
this point, Gabby, you're coming too to get
Oh,
some
yeah, I'm
oxtail.
coming.
All right. Fantastic. We are all going to get oxtail in Kingston. Nikki, last year you said that you wanted to win 10 races, and you did exactly that. Do you feel like the fact that you said 10 was why you won 10? And have you set how many races you want to win this year?
That's a great question. Yeah, this year I want to win 11. And yeah, I do think there's something about putting your goals out there into the universe, whether it's just writing them down or telling someone, and it does manifest them into existence. And I think that happened. It was crazy because my season ended and I didn't race after the Olympics. I decided to shut my season down, and I was like, dang, I only won 9. I was like, well, it's still pretty good. And then there's this fun and silly little road mile in December in Hawaii. And it's like this weird gender challenge where you race the men, and every year the men win. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to win that one. And then it was December 15th, and I won that race. And I was like, oh my gosh. And my first thought was, hell yeah, I won 10.
I love that. She was happy about the 10 in the Olympics.
Yeah, yes.
How many races have you won this year?
I think 3. Yeah.
So 3 out of the 11. So we've
Yeah.
got 7 to go. How many of those are going to be slams?
Well, hopefully all of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you have 8 races.
That would exactly
all
was
right.
it.
Then you could get to 12.
Wow. Why not?
Cyrèna, what are you most excited about for this track season in general?
I think I'm more excited about, the show. You understood I like to have fun when I'm running, and also being able to represent my country over the world and show how do French people do. And that's what I'm most excited about. Share my values to the world, and yeah.
I love that. And it's important to just have fun with what you're doing and not just be too focused on the competition of it all. And Gabby, to close it out for us, if you can say one thing to everyone that's watching, what would that one thing be that you will leave with them as your parting words?
It's a tough one, Morley K. I would say, when you guys leave this room, don't forget to support track and field. watch track and field. We've made it easier for you with Grand Slam. It's there, it's happening, it's televised. We'll be there, of course. So support track and field, watch us, and it'll be fun.
And before you go, can you tell everyone watching to tune in to watch in our first slam in Kingston, Jamaica? Tickets are on sale now, and you can go watch in person.
Yes, guys, tickets are on sale now, and you can go watch in person. Watch us in Grand Slam track in Kingston, Jamaica.
Thank you, everyone.